Should the Chicago Bulls be in on signing Dennis Schroeder this offseason? Let's talk about it starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. We don't want you to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit that bell. Also, make sure to check out the latest Windy City Breeze merch by checking the link in the description below. We've got Bulls merch on the website now. We're going to have some Bears merch dropping probably opening day of preseason, so be on the lookout for that as well. Now, let's get into the video. Dennis Schroeder reportedly is looking to leave the Lakers and possibly reunite with Billy Donovan. Not a bad name. When I'm thinking defensively, Schroeder to me really doesn't help us as much in that aspect, but offensively I do like Dennis Schroeder. Now the problem is Dennis Schroeder comes with a projected price tag that they believe he's looking for of $150 million over 5. And so when I heard the number, I'm like, what does he think he brings to the table that equals out $150 million over 5 to join the Chicago Bulls? And to me, there's a couple of things you got to look at. I had to go back to his 2019 season where he's in there with Chris Paul, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's kind of playing that 6-man role. And I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. Now, when you look at it, the overall stats, to me, you have to be careful when you're looking at the averages. Like when we go back and we look at these averages and we look at what a person did overall throughout the entire season, it's like, yeah, those are some big numbers. But to me, it's like looking at Chris Middleton's numbers, and it's no disrespect, but Chris Middleton's numbers look great on a huge average, but it doesn't show you the fact that there's 3-4 games in there where he has 10 points, 7 points. It bases it, it's an average, you know what I'm saying? So there's a game where he has 35, 40 points and he's dominating, killing everybody on the court. Then there's a game where he has 10, 11. And so the average looks really good. So to me, I go on the game by game. In that 2019-2020 season, he did average pretty much 19 points a game. I believe it was 18.9 points a game. He averaged about 46% shooting from the field, but 38% shooting from the three-point line. So he had a really good season and did a good job facilitating the ball when Chris Paul and them weren't on the court. But when I looked into it, I'm like, 18 points a game. You joking, dog? 18 points a game, you want 150 mil? You are wilding right now. But like I said, you got to go into those game-by-game numbers, and you'll be surprised to see now in the beginning of the season, there's a lot of lower scoring games, 10 points a game, 6 points a game. And also, I believe that he was injured at the finish of that season because I believe he only played like 60 games. But when you start to look at like the inside game-by-game numbers, you start to see a lot of 25-6 games, couple of 30-point games in there, couple of big number games in there, and consistently above 20 points a game, consistently above 5 assists a game, and it caught me a little bit off guard because I'm like, yo, this is Dennis Schroeder. Like, what did I miss there? And we talk about kind of how that Chris Paul effect has helped Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, how that Chris Paul effect helped Cameron Payne. I believe that the Chris Paul effect also helped Dennis Schroeder, and that Dennis Schroeder could be a good asset for the Chicago Bulls coming into this season. I think that he could be somebody that the Bulls could actually use. Now, like I said, we've been thinking heavy Lonzo Ball, let's go get Lonzo Ball, let's go get Lonzo Ball. He seems to be the consensus name that the Chicago Bulls are in on. And I like the Lonzo Ball name because, one, I don't think Lonzo's going to command 150 mil, but two, because I think that Lonzo gives you more from the defensive point of view, and I think that the Bulls need absolutely a lot more defense on the perimeter. So to me, I would still say, especially if he's thinking that price range, let's go Lonzo Ball. But not only am I looking at 150 is too steep, but if you're telling me 115 to 125 for Dennis Schroeder, based on the fact that, and let me give you the numbers here real quick. Now, this is for the month of January when he was with OKC and he was getting a good chunk of minutes on the court. I'm just giving his points and assists here because that's really what we care about with the Bulls going into this next season. Somebody that can set you up to be great. 25-6, 18-8, 15-4. 23-4, 31-9, 21-8, 8, 26-2, 21-6, 24-9, 24-6, 30-6, 18-3, 22-1, 14-3, 22-3, 11-2, 13-6, 21-5, 13-7, and so a little bit up and down. I don't exactly know now. I didn't watch game by game, go back and look at it, but to me, I think there's a bit of a correlation with getting the starters minutes, getting the big chunk of minutes. If you look at the minutes per game, I believe a lot of that time he was playing like 39 minutes a game. So he was getting those starters minutes, and then that kind of reduces at the end there. But to see his game as a starter, and we know in Atlanta what he was able to bring to the table, to see his game as a starter, I think that you absolutely have to look at his game and be like, all right, well, this is interesting. If I can get him for 22 to 25 mil a year, is that something that I'm willing to do? Now, before I continue with the video, I want to know you guys' thoughts on this. Should the Chicago Bulls sign Dennis Schroeder this offseason to be their point guard of the future? I'll be down there talking with you as well. Now, the thing about Schroeder coming in to me is not only the fact that he already understands Billy's system, he understands what's going on. It wouldn't be as big of a learning curve. It would just be getting used to playing with your teammates. All right, I like that off bat. How does he affect the game for the Chicago Bulls here? Dennis Schroeder is more of a probing kind of guard. He's going to attack, find his way, a lot of drive and kick, a lot of getting to the rim, a lot of setting guys up, but he does draw players off of you to the rim, which allows Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic to be able to be open for mid-range shots, to be open for three-point shots, which is what they're good at. Pat Will in that as well. And I think that that's something that the Bulls absolutely could benefit from, a probing guard, a drive and kick guard, somebody who's going to attack the basket, because when you've got that guy that attacks the basket with guys who are able to get the shot and knock it down if it's open, now you're able to really pick apart a defense, because we've seen Schroeder be able to kind of stand there and really just focus on getting his guys involved. But now not only would you have Zach LaVine, who's able to probe and do that same kind of thing, but you also add Dennis Schroeder into that mix. And to me, that opens up things for Pat Will. That opens up the lane for Pat Will, opens up wide open shots for Pat Will. And having a big man who can step out and knock down the three consistently in Nikola Vucevic really changes the game, because now he's not clogging up the paint. He's not in there. He's not reliant on being in there. He's not relying on getting his points in there. Now, are there going to be moments where you just feed my mans in the paint? Absolutely. But the fact that you have Nikola Vucevic able to just step out and knock that down, it really opens everything up for Dennis Schroeder to have his best kind of game for the Chicago Bulls. And as crazy as it is to say, I mean, I really think that if he's giving you the production that we've seen him give you with Billy Donovan, is $25 million a year too much for Dennis Schroeder? Now, of course, we're thinking what we saw last season. We're thinking about, listen, this man is really probably 84 mil over 4 years. That's really what a lot of people are thinking when we're talking about Dennis Schroeder coming in. But these guys are going to dictate the market. I think the Bulls will probably lay back and see kind of what the market is for a point guard like this, or they unless they can get somebody in here and set it themselves. But if I was to offer Dennis Schroeder a contract for the Chicago Bulls, and I'm gonna be honest with you, looking at how he played with Billy Donovan, looking at how his numbers were with Billy Donovan, the fact that he comes in already understanding the system, the fact that you really just need a guard who can contribute at that position, set things up for you, and attack the basket. Okay, yes, you do get that with Lonzo, and you get better defense with Lonzo. Is Lonzo coming with a less price tag than a Dennis Schroeder is? We might say yeah, but there's a bidding war for Lonzo Ball right now. LA wants Lonzo Ball. I'm talking about the Clippers. New York wants Lonzo Ball. Chicago wants Lonzo Ball. If you miss out on that sweepstakes, that could set the market for you right there. That could set what Dennis Schroeder is going to get in his market as well. And so at $30 million a year, that might, to me, that's a little steep. I'm not gonna lie, that is a little steep. But if it was a $25 million over 5 with a team option on that 5th year, I probably wouldn't be mad at that, depending on how AK could structure it. Maybe you're able to front load that so that you can, I mean, you have your bird rights for Zach LaVine next season anyway, but maybe you're able to front load that. And I think Dennis Schroeder's another guard who fits in perfectly with your timeline. He's 27 years old right now. He's 27 years old, so he fits in perfectly with what Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic are bringing to the table, that timeline that AK has set. He's also able to set up the next generation of guys, and I think that that's something that the Bulls are looking to do as well. And so to me, would I offer Dennis Schroeder 150? I wouldn't offer him 150, but if I could get him in that 20 to 25 mil range deal, I would offer Dennis Schroeder that to come to the Chicago Bulls and be the starting point guard of the future. Now, I would still say let's go Lonzo because I'm more of a defensive-minded guy. I would say I'd take Lonzo over Dennis Schroeder, but I do think that the impact Dennis Schroeder would bring to the Chicago Bulls would help them greatly, especially Zach LaVine, especially Pat Will, Vooch, and I think that it takes a lot of the load off of the other three guys' backs as they're moving forward, because he can go out and get his own bucket. But I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. Should the Chicago Bulls be in on Dennis Schroeder this offseason? I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, it is your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bulls content. Click the links here or check the links in the description below. Hey, yo, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.